winners final. He will have the white pieces in a must-win. Magnus, with a draw or a win, will go straight through to the grand final that will be played on Friday. Here we go.
Here we go. It's another Sicilian. It's been the opening of this match. This time, switching it up, Magnus. No more Sicilian Najdorf. It's a different branch of the opening, and Magnus will be hoping that Vachier-lagrave shows slightly less expertise here, because Magnus was in trouble 2 games ago when he last had black. And look at MVL now looking down away from the computer screen, just trying to pick a variation here. Of course, he's seen this all before. And Magnus being provocative. This line known to be dangerous for black. He's not playing safety first chess, safety first kind of brand here.
It's Sicil for the kill. There is no safety first brand when it comes to open Sicilians, and Maxime taking it head on. He does slow down after this move bishop to b7. David, I'm not super familiar with this theory. After white gets the knight to e4, you said it's known to be dangerous for black. What are the dangers in these positions?
It's mostly the holes, the dark squared holes around black's king. And I think we might see those exploited by Maxime Vachier-lagrave, or at least an attempt to get at them over the next few turns. Magnus had this opening last Champions Chess Tour event. I'm trying to remember the opponents. I think it might have been Alireza Firouzja, but either way, it was a complicated game. Magnus was on the ropes there and did manage to survive eventually. But yeah, let's just jump in while Maxime thinks, having been surprised by this last move. It's all about this hole, especially in particular. The white knight wants to get at it and jumps in instantly. Good timing. I was a bit lucky there. The black bishop does remove that piece though, and now the key is this piece. It's locked in. Magnus wants to break out with this pawn push. I think this is the main move, if I know my opening theory, because you don't want to allow white time to push back this knight and then fix a pawn on the c5 square. Your bishop would be dead for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and that pawn on d6 would be such a stronghold in the position. You just cannot give white the time to advance in with that c-pawn. So expecting black to push c5, is that super critical? And it's on the board, so Magnus does realize that. Maxime can still push that knight out of the way. c4 still in the air.
Yeah, c4 still in the air. The black knight will retreat. I'm not sure exactly where, but most likely this way. And at least now Magnus does have the advantage of this bishop being on a great diagonal. This white pawn as well looks mightily strong, but could be a weakness long-term in the endgame. So yeah, really imbalanced position. Magnus not playing safe chess, as we mentioned. He's taking risks. He's so principled. He's playing the opponent, not the tournament situation. I think that's instructive, a lesson for everyone.
At least he has great air quality, Maxime Vachier-lagrave. He's gonna need it to win this game against the great Magnus Carlsen. And talking about great people, we did see that interview with Vishy and Anand. I thought it was so interesting how he said that the replacement rate will be much faster going forwards now, that people will stay for a shorter period of time in the top. Now for these two, Magnus and MVL, how long do you expect those two to be, you know, inside top 20 maybe?
Ooh, depends how soon they want to retire. I expect them both, if they wanted to be, especially Magnus, to be up there for at least another decade. In the top 20, but yeah, I agree with Vishy. I mean, there's just so many youngsters coming through. It's hard to kind of maintain the energy when you're a slightly older player, especially now that chess is becoming much, much quicker. But yeah, that mix, that blend of experience and kind of energy, still, these guys, they're kind of managing to cope at the moment.
Will it be more like other sports where you're maybe, you know, in your 20s, maybe is where you peak mostly, and then sort of in your 30s, people start to retire?
I don't know about retire, but I agree with you that chess is becoming younger now. And I think computers play such a big role in that. This entire generation is born on computers. They start playing chess on computers. Now, if you're not a grandmaster, by the time you're 13, it's time to start thinking about another career. So things have changed a lot. But for these two, for Magnus and Maxime, I'm thinking it's been now over a decade that they've been in the world top 10.
Yeah.
So that's already quite a while.
That is quite a while. I mean, can it be another decade?
I think
Could
so.
it be into their 40s?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean,
searching for a longer day. pleasures come. We must never stop the way. Yeah. Birds chirping and I hear my name, grasping into life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a start. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah.
And yeah, if any of those white pawns were just next to each other, they could kind of walk up the board. But the problem is the black rooks on the back rank actually guard all of the promotion squares. The two black rooks together cover everything, and black does have some counterplay. Black's A pawn ready to start marching.
White's got to get the other 2 pawns up the board. Start pushing the F pawn and the H pawn. Right now, he's threatening a big check on C7 as well. Or it could be a big check in some positions. So you have to watch out for that.
This is still so wild.
Does black have the time to actually go ahead with that A pawn already? Start pushing the pawn?
Magnus will reveal all. I think he will.
Is the hope sort of going down for MVL to win this game and take it to Armageddon? Or you said there's still drama here.
Yeah, without seeing the evaluation bar, I would be extremely optimistic as white. But the clock situation, the fact that black's rooks are already on the dream defensive squares, I think unless objectively he has some big chances, it's going to be hard to push this one further into a win. And there we go. Magnus is the one pushing this time onto A5.
And I feel like neither of them deserves to lose this game, I have to say, because it's just been so fantastic.
I couldn't agree more with that. I think this match has been just incredible to witness. Such fighting chess, accurate chess, combative play, attacking play by both these players, neither backing down. But in the end, there has to be one winner.
Yeah.
And Kaya, also, I think the drama isn't over in this one.
Okay,
We're still going to see a lot.
I'll just lean back and enjoy the commentary then. Fantastic. What a match we're having here.
Yeah, it feels like there's still some twists and turns ahead.
The pawn just reached A3 in like 3 seconds. What happened there?
Yeah, we blinked for one moment and the pawn, it looked like it moved 3-4 squares forward in one move. But the white king is coming, and he's trying to set up a mating net around the black king. I don't really see it, I've got to be honest. But Maxime, he's trying to scare Magnus here. And you've got to be careful when you push the pawn. If the black pawn pushes now, then white could at least take it off the board, dropping the white queen back. I wonder if Magnus is going to even plant a rook behind the pass pawn. That, again, tends to be decent strategy here. Let's just show what happens if Magnus tries to rush to the finishing line. It's a sprint finish here. If he pushes the pawn, then white could check. It's a double attack, and the pawn undefended. The pawn would drop off next. Still maybe a draw, but reluctant to do that. Magnus, he does indeed try to use the rook as a propeller for the pawn in the corner. He's supporting it, and he's just going to push till the bitter end. Maxime, meanwhile, going forward with his king.
Wow.
Look at this. If he pushes his pawn, will he get mated, Magnus Carlsen, on the edge of the board? How is white going to trap him here? The king's living a charmed life. If the white king marches forward, black does have a check to kick the king back. And Magnus, he's calling this bluff now. He's going to A4.
Maybe you just lose that A2 pawn now because your king is stuck on the A line.
What's
and look at
happening?
that. The king steps forward. You're threatening a checkmate on B4 and the rook is hanging.
Is MVL winning?
He's winning. The queen is coming forward to B4. It's checkmate. Checkmate guaranteed.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
And Magnus can't believe it. And Maxime.
Something crazy was about to happen. It felt like it was building, and Magnus took too many risks. He could have probably locked it down and won this pawn in a safer way, but he marched his king to the edge of the board and was punished.
That was the best king of the hill game that I've seen.
Oh.
Maxime getting his king all the way to C5 and checkmating Magnus.
And what is happening now? Magnus's clock is ticking. Is he just getting ready to resign?
He's getting ready for the Armageddon right now.
Whoa.
He knows that this is over. He's getting his mindset ready for the next one. I don't even think there's a way to prolong this.
You just have to give up a rook. You have to check the white king away, but the white king will happily take a rook. And we all know queen versus rook, how hopeless that is. Magnus allows a checkmate on the board. And we have Armageddon.
We have Armageddon to decide the winners